I hit go live on here. Okay, there we
All
go.
right.
There we are. Hello, everybody. Hi, everybody. Slightly Slanted Sleuth, joined today with Jack from Frater Deus Est Veritas, right? Sorry, I always screw that up. My bad. Why don't you tell us where your channel is?
Hi, yeah, my name's Jack. I go by the name Frater Deus Est Veritas, which means God is truth, or God is the truth. And yeah, I enjoy discussing metaphysics with Steve. So here we are again for another exploration of the deep psyche, and we'll just improvise and see where we go.
Quit sleuthing, Steve. Hey, everybody. There's 7 people with us so far. Etheric Essentials, Deborah Tucker's with us. I'm making you blue now. And Delaney, Pearl Jones, Scotty Boy, Mr. Menza, Freighters in the house. Need to know. Menza, okay. So hi, everybody. I'm glad you could join us. And we're going to talk about what the soul is. And what do you guys think the soul is? You know, because we were in a bit of confusion ourselves as to what the soul is.
Yeah. Well, what's the soul? Who knows?
Right. I mean, can anybody answer that question? Is it our collective consciousness? Is it the spirit, as in God itself? You know, ourself. You know, because God is our true one self, right? Sat Sun's in the house. Dark Truth's in the house. Yeah, this whole, I've figured out a way to live stream and get it on the right live stream, which is much better. Hey, what's up, Menza? So yeah, what do you guys think the soul is? You know, we're gonna do some interactive discussion here today. But yeah, today I was looking into some Ramana Maharshi. I think that's his name. Maharshi. I always screw up his name. But I was in hunting the eye. And the eye is, you know, I am that I am, right? What are you doing, Jack?
There's an explanation of the soul in this book.
Okay, there you go.
But like I look through the contents and it just says chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, etc. So I don't know if I'm going to find it, but I do remember that when I read this book, this is Iamblichus on the mysteries of the Egyptians, Chaldeans, and Assyrians, translated by Thomas Taylor. It's a Ken Wheeler recommendation, although I didn't have this because of his recommendation. I had it before I saw him recommend it. But anyway, it does talk about how the soul desires the most excellent good. So perhaps it's the divine part of ourselves that desires some kind of reconciliation with God. I don't know. That's I think the quote I remember because it was quite a startling quote. It's the soul desires the most excellent good. So
here's Wikipedia's definition. Soul is defined as one person or is the spirit and essence of a person. An example of the soul is part of you that makes you who you are and that will live on after you die.
Here's a good quote.
So an example of the soul is the part of you that will go to heaven and be immortal according to the teachings of certain religions. That's Wikipedia's version. Go ahead.
This is actually the chapter about the soul. I've fortunately opened it up. Well, it's all about the soul, but so he talks about how, oh God, this is so complicated to read. So great, therefore, being the difference between the energies of daemons, which means spirit, not demon in Greek, daemons, heroes, and souls throughout. So hero is an illuminated being. It is no longer proper to doubt what is it which separates them from each other, but they are to be distinguished by the peculiar nature of each. So he's saying there's a distinction between like an enlightened human, a soul, or a spirit. And so far as they are able to form one conjunction, so far the communion of them must be surveyed. For thus it will be possible truly to comprehend and define separately the conception which ought to be formed of them. Okay, that's, I mean...
And that goes hand in hand with what all these fine people in chat are saying. I'll read them off. Genevieve says a soul is a frequency that moves through time in different packages and dimensions. And I think what she means by that is we all possess the same soul and we're all one soul. I think that's what she means. I feel that our soul, and our again means plural, ours, protects the spirit. I think they're one and the same though, but pretty much Dark Truth. And then Sat Sun says spirit more like an emotion, soul more like an essence. I think we're splitting hairs there, but the soul is our personal frequency tone. We are as a spark of energy that runs our meat suit. That's Delaney. Drum roll, please, Need to Know says. And then Mr. Menza says, I thought the soul is the vessel carrying us between lifetimes, spirit, the connection to source, God, creator. I believe they're one and the same, or I think they're one and the same. I believe our soul is, Scotty Boy says, our soul is the one thought form separated to us as an individual. I don't know. I think it's like our consciousness. It's the one thing that I think spirit is soul, in my opinion. Soul is the part of the essence or creator that cannot be sold, doesn't belong to one to be sold. There you go, Satson. I think that's the best way. Soul is the substance of our perfect selves. There's a good analogy too, Need to Know. And Genevieve did nail it about the dimensions. I agree with that. Charlie Silverman, Son, I was thinking myself a few months ago that it's not mine to sell. Maybe that's the test. And there you go. And, you know, when they say sell your soul to the devil, I think it's just you're giving into your negative instincts, right? And that's why we all have the devil in us. We all have the good in us. We all have, you know, and I think consciousness is like the soul. We're all receiving the one signal, and it depends on what we do with that signal or how we're vibrating to that signal. That's just how I feel the whole works. You know, I think our differentiations or the way we convolute everything and how we want to possess things is the carnality of our mind and in the 3D meat suit, how we want to make it personal, you know?
Yeah, it's very interesting because you have here he defines God or the most excellent, then the gods, archangels, angels, daemons, archons, and then soul. So there's like a hierarchy. So Iamblichus is defining a hierarchical order, and he says that there are. So he says here, a soul appears to comprehend in itself all various essences and reasons, and forms or species of every kind. If, however, it be requisite to speak the truth, soul is always defined according to one certain thing, but adapting itself to precedenious causes. That means like predetermined, or it is at different times conjoined to different causes. So I guess it goes through different cycles and experiences and causes, basically. So like, I think that's why he makes the distinction here. I guess this whole book is actually about the soul. He differentiates between beings that are occupying the realm of spirit, and so if their dominion pertains to the world and they are material, they are noxious and painful, and those of souls are similar to the heroic phasmata, except they are inferior to them. So he's basically saying there's an inferiority between a human, an unenlightened human, and higher order beings, which would be, you know, spirits, angels, archangels, gods, and then, you know, but there's a hierarchy, there's a spiritual hierarchy. He's very clear on this point. And I guess that
That
would
would be the
make
cosmic
sense.
gardener or the initiate, right?
Yeah,
Or
that's. I think he also talks heroes. So you like have so the hierarchical order is like the gods, archangels, angels, daemons, uh, archons, which means a ruler, not the new age alien shit. Um, hero, soul. So yeah, a hero is like, you know, something that's is like a soul that's completed the hero's journey.
or
I
an
would
angel, right?
recommend this. I would seriously recommend this book to anyone watching this live stream.
What's it called?
It's sometimes you think you're like reading some kind of like word salad, but like it's translated from like this is like Neoplatonism. So this was written a long time ago. So the way they spoke back then was much more vivid, and the sentences had much more like content to them, I'd say. But yeah, it's I've read this book twice and I still don't understand it. But yeah, there you go.
Cool, cool. So, yeah, what do you guys think of that? Other teachings say we human soul have something other beings don't have, and that would be the mentalism or the awareness or the consciousness or awareness of the consciousness, right? I think that's what differentiates us from the animals, right? I mean, that's
Mm,
because the plants, well, the minerals are just, minerals, of course. Plants are dependent on their food and drink from their surroundings to come to them. Animals explore for their food and drink, and um, we, humans, we what do we do? We agriculture. We develop our food. We go to our food, but not just to the food. We understand what all the prior is. We are the accumulation of all prior, the
mm.
plant, mineral, animal, and that's what culminates us into the process of five, or the culmination, or the diamond.
Yeah, here's an interesting point on that, because there's a distinction between humans and the gods that I'm reading here. Um,
What's the name of
uh,
the book so I can put it in chat, bud?
iamblicus, like I
Oh,
am,
I am.
IAMBLICHUS. It's iamblicus. Just look up iamblicus. This is like his most famous works. But I'll read this for the chat because it's on that point that you were just saying. For since it is not possible to speak rightly about the gods without the gods, much less can anyone perform works which are of an equal divinity, no, are of an equal dignity with divinity, and obtain the foreknowledge of everything without the inspiring influence of the gods. See, this is what the sentences are like. You got to like read them 2-3 times. So, but this is the point. For the human race is imbecile or imbecile, and of small estimation, sees but a little, and possesses a connascent nothingness. I don't know what connascent means. That's probably an obsolete word. And the only remedy of its inherent error, perturbation, and unstable mutation is its participation, as much as possible, of a certain portion of divine light. But he who excludes this does the same thing as those who attempt to produce soul from things inanimate, or to generate intellect from things unintelligent. See, he's just murdered the transhumanist argument in that sentence completely, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So he says, like, you can't produce a soul from something inanimate, and you can't generate intellect from something unintelligent. It's like AI, basically. For without the cooperation of a cause, he constitutes divine works from things which are not divine.
Need to know says it was a consequent. The word you were
Connascent. So Connascent. Connascent.
connascent.
Connascent. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I think that means that you're tend to your essence is conning or cunning, or you tend to con yourself, or
Is anyone looking it up in the chat?
I don't know. Look it up, guys.
No, I'll spell it out in the chat. I'll put it in all caps.
What's up, Charlie? Jay Dyer said animals don't have souls, which pissed me off because my now deceased dog had a glint in his eyes. I miss him so much. I think animals do have a sort of a essence to them, and
I disagree with that. I think animals have souls.
yeah, I think they have an essence to them. I don't know if it's like our soul, because I don't know if they have the awareness factor we do, but
no, I think that I think absolutely animals have souls, and this is like
there are certain animals that I've had that I would agree with that, and I would agree with
no
that.
man, dogs can be very emotional. So can cats, horses. No, I think they do. I mean, because it's not something inanimate. It's like a living organism, you know. So here's the distinction between like humans and angels and gods and daemons.
Knowledge, acquaintance, consciousness, acquaintance, consciousness, grip, knowledge, connaissance.
What does it mean?
What's up, Aaron? It's Scratch says connaissance, but I think he spelled it different.
Yeah, there was no I in it. Connaissant. I think it's an obsolete word because this was translated in like 1886 or something. Connaissant definition, the Free Dictionary. Born, produced, or growing simultaneously. So it means to be begotten. It's an obsolete word for being begotten.
So to be born through.
So we possess a connaissant nothingness, a begotten nothingness. That makes more sense now, doesn't it? And the only remedy of its inherent error, perturbation, and unstable mutation is its participation as much as possible of a certain portion of divine light. And he goes on to say how the gods, angels, and daemons give completion to the more excellent works. That sentence suddenly makes a lot more sense now.
Yes, it does. It's like the word aguante, you know.
So here we go as well. He says, for divinity is superior to necessity. So like people saying, oh yeah, man, I got to do what I got to do. You know, I just got to work this job to pay the bills. It is what it is. That's like a blasphemy of divinity then, by that logic. You know?
Aaron says that plants have a soul also. The soul is the tool of spirit to navigate the earth plane. So everything living has it. So everything alive has a soul. So spirit is the soul, which is God, right?
That's interesting that the comment from Crystal Clear about her cat. I assume it's a girl. Coming back to visit. I experienced that after our cat died. Our cat kept like jumping up on the bed, and me and my wife could feel him, and there was no cat, but it felt like a kitty jumping up, which is, you know, he was in kitty heaven. Oh man, shit! Just a Hey Paula. Here's a man, a change of subject, dude. I had another here. Listen to this story. This is a crazy story.
Mosquitoes, them damn things.
So check this out, Steve.
Okay, I'm checking
it out. What you make of this, right? So yes, I think this was Monday night. So I was asleep and dreaming about being in bed in my room, right? And I thought my brother was next to me, and like it felt like he was like punching me as I was asleep, like in the torso, like proper punching me. And I was like, dude, like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh man, like get off, leave me alone, man. And then like the next thing, like seriously, listen to this dude. The next thing in my dream, there was this demonic entity pinning me down on my bed, trying to strangle me. And I got a like complete view of its face and what it looked like. It looked like a skinnier version of Gollum from Lord of the Rings, kind of like with blue eyes, white skin, like a really mean face. It was like strangling me. So I like went because its arms were strangling me, trying to strangle me. My arms were free. It like had me in a full mount. So I like went to punch it in the face and like sit up as I punched it. And like that act of punching it and sitting up, I just basically woke up in my bed like that. And it was still like in my room. It was fucking creepy as fuck, man. This is the second time I've been attacked by a spirit in my room within like as many months.
It's probably in that house.
I think so. I really think so. Like, because the person who was living in this room before, my landlady had to get like him evicted, and like he became a meth addict and shit like that. That's why I'm trying to move out at the moment, man. Like, I don't know, dude. It was creepy as fuck, dude. But like, you know, that was like a malevolent spirit, like an evil spirit.
You can do something about that if you wish, just by,
Yeah. What's need to know says been there, not a dream. No, that's correct. It's not a dream. You're like on the terminal between the astral and the material world. You're like right at the limit of the Anu, you know.
Or what Jung called it. He called it. What did he call it? Carl Jung did the Red Book about that. He wrote depictions of that state that you're talking about, right between sleep and awake.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fucking weird. It was weird. But the thing didn't like evoke fear in me. Like it more startled me. But the last spirit like really made me freak the fuck out. But not this time. I was just like, get the fuck out of here, and like punched it in the face. And yeah, it was
the
weird.
only helpless dreams I've ever had, or I can't even explain them.
Yeah. See, I actually, onto the chat, I actually have holy water with like consecrated sea salt that's pre-consecrated from Israel. So like I do have all the stuff like to like protect myself, but yeah, that's what happens when you do like an initiation and stop. You get attacked by spirits. It happens, and I need to get back onto it, but yeah. Oh, Lizzie's in the chat.
Hi, Lizzie.
So anyway, back to Iamblichus. Yeah, I mean, if you want to understand the soul, this is really one of the like chief works about it, I'd say. Well, that I've read actually. There was also here's an interesting thing as well. So those of souls, not all of them are seen to be equal, but appear to be less than heroes. And in short, the magnitude of the manifestation is appropriately present in each of these, according to the magnitude of their powers and the amplitude of the empire through which they extend themselves and in which they exercise their authority. That's an interesting statement.
Right. But let's get back to the what we think the path of our soul is then. Okay, so the path of souls, like the Hopi Indians, they used to have a ritual where they would, on I think it was December 15th or something like that, there was a window of a week or something where your soul could jump off into the Milky Way, and it could go into, I think it was the Eye in the Hand, the Orion.
Right. Isn't that like the Rainbow Bridge from like the Norse mythology? The soul has to take the Rainbow Bridge.
I think so, yeah.
Like and because pure light, it when put through a prism, splits into a rainbow.
Right.
So
Water be calmed, holy if I touch it.
I have holy water. But yeah.
All the demons that ever attacked me in a dream usually got ripped to pieces while I cracked bad jokes. I got mad and forced it back off. Oh, need to know is telling here. I didn't read the first part. Use frankincense, Crystal says. What was
I've got all of it. I've got all the metaphysical tools. You wouldn't believe the amount of like herbs and different tools and stuff that I've got. I've got the whole repertoire of all the planetary correspondences. I just have been like not doing a lot of like kind of daily stuff. Maybe I'll do like a brief banishing after chat, but I think that might help. But,
where do naughty rainbows go? To Prism. Black Illuminati brings up a good point. The sun is also called the soul. And yeah, that's because we're in our solar system, right? Our system. So that would
there's a quote here. The sun is diversified according to the signs of the zodiac, and that every hour he changes his form. But at the same time, also, it indicates his immutable, stable, never failing, and once collected communication of goods to the whole world.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at what you just said. That makes complete sense, and it's
yeah.
awesome. Because the zodiac goes through the. Yeah, I was watching something on Anton's Pentov's.
Anton LaVey.
No, Pentov. He does.
Pentov. I don't know who that is.
About the solar system and about space, but he was talking about the zodiacal light. The zodiacal light, the light that shines right before sun, or it's not right before sun up, but in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Not the Milky Way, but
so that'd be like astral light, basically. Yeah, but not like from the astral plane, like from the zodiac, as in astral.
He said that they're finally figuring out that it's the sun reflecting off of dust particles, but he was trying to get to where the particles are coming from. The particles in which bend the light and reflect it back to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's another phenomena that happens on the opposite side, like when the sun goes down, where you see a glare or a halo at the horizon, at the other in the east or in the west, or in the east, when the sun goes down, and then in the west is called the zodiacal light, or no, opposite. East is a zodiacal light in the middle of the night if you're looking east. And you can only see it like you said if you're out in the middle of the desert and there's no light pollution and whatnot.
No sound.
Yeah.
And I got to go back to the desert. I was talking to Steve before the chat about being in the Anza Borrego desert out here. I'm literally telling you, it is so deafeningly silent there. You don't hear any animals or birds, no planes, no cars, nothing. It's deafening. It's actually sounds like it's really loud because it's so quiet and it's so palpable. Like, man, that's the place to go to meditate. I know you could meditation, you're supposed to just go within and whatever, but yeah, man, that's a cool place. The sun is powered by gremlins, according to Thoth.
Yeah, I just took his moderator privileges because he wants to be different from everybody else.
Yeah, I know, he loves it.
Yeah, so
the Egyptians used prayers to the sun, conformable to these assertions, not only in visions which are seen by the bodily eyes, but also in their more common supplications, all which have such a meaning as this, and are offered to the god conformably to a symbolic and mystic doctrine of this kind. Hence, it would not be reasonable in any one to undertake a defense of them. I don't know what that means. I'd probably have to read the whole book. But I mean, yeah, I can't speak highly enough of this book, and it even spells connection with an X as well in it. That's like old school.
Nice. Yeah, and connection. Yeah, that's exactly. Thoth just describe. He would rather meditate at a strip bar. What's up, MCF? Love you, sweetheart. Adams Patch. Wow, we got 30 in the house, man. So in
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry to interrupt. So he talks about splendid rivers of supernal light, and from an ineffable place, and they gradually and silently draw upward the manners of our soul by divesting them from everything foreign to divine nature, and clothes us with the perfections of the gods, and produces an indissoluble communion and friendship with divinity, nourishes a divine love, and inflames the divine part of the soul. Whatever is of an opposing and contrary nature in the soul, it expiates, which means gets rid of, and purifies, expels whatever is prone to generation, and retains anything of the dregs of mortality in its ethereal and splendid spirit, perfects a good hope and faith concerning the reception of divine light, and in one word, renders those by whom it is employed the familiars and domestics of the gods. Then he goes on to talk about like the demiurge in the next sentence as well. Man, this book is like, I don't know. It's like, I don't think there's any book in existence like it. This is like Plato on acid. They called him Iamblichus the Divine as well. And I think like sentences like that is why they called him. I want to hear about Jack's toolbox for protection. Like, what do you want to know? Like, I have it all. Magic sword, dagger, pentacle, shield, like everything. I got all crystals corresponding to all signs of the zodiac, all the planets, all the paths. Like Jesus, I spent like 3 years accumulating magic tools. No, you're
I'm not laughing at you, brother. I'm laughing at what Delaney Pearl Jones said. I want to make the sex healer industry properly unionized, 401k and insurance for hoes. She wants to unionize hookers, I guess. I don't know. I just found that funny. Diviner Sage Selvia is what first showed me the other side, where demons reside. You know, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've never really experienced demons other than my own demonic or satanic thinking or negative egoistic nature. If that's what a
Hey
demon
man,
is.
you can call them if you want, you know,
Well, I don't want to. Why would I?
because you can get them to do something that you couldn't otherwise do.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't,
it's like taming a wild horse. You got
yeah,
a
there's
carrot
no
and a
need
stick.
for me to do that because I don't wish anything upon anything that I don't want upon myself. You know.
Hey man, you
I'm
could.
not saying that I haven't wanted other things, in the past, but my new way of thinking is, just not to even give that shit power, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been one to do that, and anybody that knows me or has heard me talk about that subject is, for me, I don't give that shit power. Like Thaw said, I'd be more worried about the cops and the crackheads than I would a demon. You know, that's just me though. And I'm not saying anybody who's experienced it is wrong or anything. I'm just saying for me, I've never experienced it. And, to be honest with you, if I did, I would tell everybody, but I don't give that shit power in my head. I'm sure that shit exists, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
give it power.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. He says here that life could not subsist without the being conjoined to the gods. So basically, without divinity, nothing can have existence.
Yes.
Very, very interesting.
And the Emerald Tablets, my go-to book on all kinds of matters. It talks about demons too. The Dark Brothers, or the ones that and
Well, interestingly, I've been thinking about this more and more and more. I've kind of like the subject of narcissism and psychopathology, etc. But really, when we people do like terrible evil and commit terrible acts of evil. We know that, right? You don't even have to like debate that, right, Steve? But really, most evil is people who have lost empathy from extreme childhood trauma. So like I don't know what percentage of it is, but most like fucked up perceived evil people are actually just traumatized and damaged. So like the narcissism and psychopathy is a defense mechanism, so like for the psyche to protect itself. It's actually really sad. And I tell you what, Steve, understanding that does give rise to like the spirit of compassion and forgiveness and that kind of thing. Although I still believe there is a portion of like evil which like incarnates. But here's my point: evil maintains subsistence through the cosmos through trauma primarily. That's its mode of genesis or genealogy through the transience of life or the cosmos. And yeah, Thoth's right. Thoth's right. The road to hell is paid. He says a lot of evil is done with people with good intentions. I mean, like, just look at the woke crowd. They think they've got good intentions. They're fucking evil. Like, they are so evil with their victimhood, They're so evil. Like, but really they're traumatized narcissists that got fucked up when they were kids. And they don't realize that. See, and this is the other thought I came to, right? We were talking the other day about like what is consciousness, right? But you can't really understand what consciousness is if you don't also have some kind of grasp of what unconsciousness is. Because a lot of evil is acting unconsciously. People are unaware of what they're doing. People are unaware of their psychosis. They're unaware of their narcissism. They're not really unaware of their psychopathy. And I've really understood. I've really like been contemplating this for a couple of weeks, and I really realized that like, yes, there is manifestations of evil with many faces, right? I get it, but like I said, evil is a consequence of trauma. It's very sad. It's very sad, man. But that's the severity of the cosmos, Steve.
Well, yeah, it's indifferent. That's the Lucifer aspect of the light, right? The creator aspect of the demiurge, the Yaldabaoth, as opposed to the Jesus aspect, because that very same light that is our creator, that is indifferent, that creates this indifferent world or indifferent existence, is also the light that redeems us.
Yeah, well, it actually says that here. It says, thus the fire, imitating the energy of divine fire, destroys everything which is material in sacrifices, and purifies things which are offered, and liberates them from the bonds of matter, and renders them through purity of nature, adapted to the communion of the gods. It likewise liberates us after the same manner from the bonds of generation or reincarnation, and assimilates us to the gods, and causes us to be adopted to their friendship, and conducts our material nature to an immaterial essence. So that's like the divine fire of God, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Like the cross that's behind me in the light right there.
Yeah, very interesting.
Link of light, that is the light we exist in.
Yeah, looks like Lizzie left the chat, hey?
Yeah, she was kind enough not to spread too much, but yeah. Yes, we should purify all the non-believers in the holy flames. Yes, Thoth is Dean's in the building. Oh, Dean's in the building. Dean's in the building. Oi, oi.
I'm gonna have a quick smoke. Do you mind? Because like we can go for another like 45 minutes or hour if you want. But
Fine with me.
yeah.
Oh, you gotta go outside to smoke then?
No, I got to smoke outside.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
That's California. I'm not even allowed to smoke. I'm evil if I smoke. Remember, like Phil created the great work while smoking cigarettes, but that doesn't matter to Californians. You know, they know better than God. If anyone in the chat is from California, they probably understand. Oh man, they're fucking Nazis with smoking, man. They're so
Right. Oft dreamed I of buried Atlantis, lost in the ages that have passed into night. Aeon on aeon thou existed, a light shining bright through the darkest night. Mighty in power, ruling the earthborn, lord of the earth in Atlantis' day, king of the nations, master of wisdom, light through sun tall, keeper of the way. Delt in his temple, the master of Lunal, light of the earth in Atlantis' day. Master he from his cycle beyond us, living in bodies as one among men, not as the earthborn, he from beyond us, son of a cycle, advanced beyond men. Know ye, O man, that Horlet the master was never one with the children of men, far in the past time, when Atlantis first grew as a power, appeared there one with the key of wisdom, showing the way of light to all. Yes, it's not allowed here in Cali. I remember when you could smoke inside nightclubs. Yeah, right. Wish I had cool friends. We could make some wicked, crazy horror comedy movies. We're not cool enough for you? We're not cool enough for you, or what? You're going to bed, Pamela? Night, night. I like how Guinevere. Yeah, Dean calls Genevieve Guinevere. Okay, now this is why what I just read right there is called the Dweller of Unal. It's tablet 5. And this is why I say Atlantis is a story of the mind. And then, because everything I just said there is talking about the mind and how the light grew in the abyss, which is our mind. Show he to all men the path of attainment, way of the light that flows among men, mastering darkness, leading the man's soul upward to heights that were one with the light. Divided the kingdoms he into sections, 10 were they, ruled by children of men. Upon another built he a temple, built but not by the children of men. And the 10 are the 10 Sephiroth of the tree of life. The 10 that is of the Kabbalists too. The Kabbalists talk about the 10, right? Please forgive my rash comments. Take some years off of suffering that is life. I'm going to go smoke too. You shouldn't be smoking, thoughts. You got a bad heart there, dude.
Mm.
That's why I quit
No,
smoking.
so I was reading the chat.
Yeah, I quit smoking because I had high blood. I've got high blood pressure, but I still have a cigarette every now and then. So I guess I can't say I quit completely. It's hard to do, but yeah, the fact that every ancient culture, civilization has a common thread that runs through it, and it all talks about the same. It's not the same thing exactly because it's viewed through a different perspective or cultural lens on how they describe things. It's like, the bark of Ra or the cross. Those are the same things, or the lion. Those are the same things as the light.
Yeah, the symbolic
Yeah,
references. Yeah.
personifications and representations of that same thing. Like the pyramid is the same thing as a jed pillar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's got the 4 into the 5th, and the 5th is the understanding, or the shining, the crown.
The Shining.
Yeah, the
Maybe
shining.
that's what he meant, Stanley Kubrick. Yeah. See, interestingly here, He says, the enjoyment of bodies were once united to soul, but then impresses us in heaviness and defilement, and generates in us voluptuousness, and produces many other diseases in the soul. I think that's true. I think the soul can, I think like the trauma, our soul can be traumatized, definitely, which is like the genesis of evil. Um,
Or need to know that the constellations are mimicking or mimicry of what's in our head, you know.
or vice versa. You could
Yeah, or
say
what?
what's in our head is a mimicry of the constellations.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting, right? Now, here's something, an easy astrology exercise anyone can do. So you want to like see when the full moon is, and it will be like, so the last full moon was in like 7 degrees Libra. And then you look in your horoscope for what house 7 degrees Libra is. And then during the full moon, an event in your life will occur where it's a blend of, say, so that was in my second house, which is like your home, and Libra's like legal stuff, right? So it was like, for me, that was a blend of like, I've got a legally file for my what's it called, green card extension for 10 years and stuff. So it's really weird. And like the one before, it was Virgo in my first house, and because I'm a Leo ascendant, and your first house is your appearance, and like I ended up like cutting my hair. I don't know why I did it, I just did it. But maybe it's so going, that it's mimicking things in our head, but does it work the other way as well? Surely it does. It can. See, this is about unconsciousness. We do things unconsciously, but there's still a cause of that effect,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
You mean the seeds
See,
that are planted even in the unconscious or subconscious grow and proliferate without us even maybe noticing, or are you just talking just from an ignorant perspective, somebody who does things in an ignorance of?
yeah, like it's like you might say you, because I don't know, there's lots of examples I could give, like, so like your career could be in like your 10th house, and you might, so if Libra's in your 10th house, you might get like some kind of career connected to that at this time. I mean, like,
Now, what is
there's
10th
so
house
many
exactly when you say?
subdivisions of archetypes. It's difficult. Like, I'd have to give like one concrete definition. But yeah, it's interesting. Just to change the subject, Adam's Patch has talked about PTSD, and like I was researching CPTSD, and that's like bad, man. That's like people become like secondary psychopaths, where they still have emotions, but they lose empathy for all other people, and then they end up becoming like schizoid, and they can't leave their house and shit from CPTSD. There's no difference between CPTSD and borderline personality. But borderline personality is just a term that was invented to describe a female psychopath. So, my wife always used to go on about how she had CPTSD. And anyway, I don't want to talk about her on the internet. I shouldn't do that. It's no one else's business, really. Sorry, I'm gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, Penny, you must be behind because yeah, he said that a while back. Hence the pendulum swinging so far towards spirituality. What's up, Seven? How are you, brother?
So let me ask you a question, Steve.
Go for it,
You
bro.
asked me last week what is consciousness. So I'm going to ask you this week, what is unconsciousness?
Unconsciousness is the wake state.
That's a good definition of it, actually. I didn't think you'd say that. I thought it would be like things we're not aware of.
You know, we're just muddling through life unconsciously. It's somebody that it's unconsciously is what is it, instinct,
Yeah.
Animalistic instinct. I think that's unconsciously.
Yeah.
Just
There's someone in the chat called Used, Abused, and Confused. She should
yeah,
have come in a bit earlier. We were just talking about all that.
that's Tammy. She's awesome. Thought says he's behind and also a back. What's up, Seven? Yeah, we're just talking about what we think soul is. And I think soul is the same as spirit. I think soul is what everything animate like I didn't really consider the soul to be the same in animals or whatnot, but you would
Mm.
think that it is, because anything that's alive has got to have a soul. Like Aaron was saying, plants have souls, and it's proven that they have emotions. When you know, I don't know if
Mhm.
people heard plants scream or not, but people swear if they talk to their plants, they grow better, or and
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Dr.
People,
Emoto
yeah, I've
uh,
done that.
did that experiment with that rice. Spoke nasty to one, spoke nice to the other,
And
and the
did
one
it
that
get?
was nasty to ended up
Yeah,
fermenting and turning into mold, and the other one grew. You
man.
know,
This is why you got to stop your thoughts running away in like depression and conspiracy and all that stuff, man.
that's why I say that's exactly why I say it, dude. It's
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's interesting. But what basically to like summarize what I'm getting from this book is that spirit exists in different degrees
mhm.
according to Iamblichus. So like just to summarize, so like God, gods, archangels, angels, daemons, that's heroes, soul, and man. And basically, yeah, I guess soul is a certain degree of spirit. See, I never actually I've never thought that soul and spirit is exactly the same. I just never have. And I don't know why, but maybe that's some kind of
I think it's
intuitive
because you want to
thing.
individualize it, something, and own something. I think that's our ego, and that's why we don't want to we want to individualize our experience, and I think that's what life is all about. Don't get me wrong, but I think we want to own what we know, and I think that's what gets everybody into trouble. And
But
what
like
we
intellectual property.
yes, yes, essentially, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think we want to just own our experience, and not think it's in this big melting pot of God, because in essence we are the feelers, are the ganglion for God. If you want to get down,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we are the branches and the leaves for the one tree.
Mm. Yeah,
We are the
that's a
tree
good way
itself.
of looking at it.
We complete it.
Definitely. Well, yeah, you've like you got the roots of a tree, you got the trunk of the tree, you got the branches, then the twigs and the leaves, but it's still all part of the tree. You even have the seed, which contains the whole tree within it genetically, but it's not the tree as well. It's very interesting to like contemplate.
Bruno, what's up, buddy? I'm glad you could join us. Soul is the vehicle in which takes us to our individual God, which is the spirit. I
So here we go. On that note, uh, the soul descends through various bodies into generation. A certain peculiar portion is distributed to each of the parts in us according to a peculiar prefecture. I don't know what prefecture means. So he says, anyway, the daemon, therefore, established in the paradigm before the soul descends into generation. And when the soul has received him as its leader, the daemon immediately presides over the soul, gives completion to its life, and binds it to body when it descends. He likewise governs the common animal of the soul, directs its peculiar life, and imparts to us the principles of all our thoughts and reasoning. So, okay, so if spirit is hierarchical, God, gods, archangels, angels, daemons, souls, heroes, what is that all those degrees of spirit are still within us? It's like you could
How many
say,
were there in total? Was there seven? in the
I think
hierarchy?
so. Yeah, I think it is 7. Yeah, so you've got God, gods, archangels, angels, daemons, heroes, and souls,
Wow.
basically.
So
Yeah.
that's got the 7 template right over it too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But I
I'm
mean,
assuming.
it's varying degrees. There's probably subparts and subgenres within those degrees as well. But
And that's
you
essentially
know,
what the Hermetic principles are the same thing, right?
hmm,
Right? Because everything is a culmination to mentalism and then back again, right? Because in the
yes.
Hermetic principles, you can see the Genesis story, or the Enuma Elish, or you know, if you break it down, you can see the same story over and over again in the 7 template.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
the Templar cross, is there any coincidence it's a template? You know?
All right, here's another one I'm going to have to read because I mean, this is so this book is so beyond my understanding, and it's appropriate to the title of this talk. I mean, if anyone's not happy with me reading this, but anyway,
No,
like
you're bringing up
it
good
says,
points out of
for
that
the
book.
human soul is contained by one form, and is on all sides darkened by body, which he who denominates the river of negligence, or the water of oblivion, or the ignorance of delirium, or a bond through passions, or the privation of life, or some other evil, will not by such appellations sufficiently express its turpitude. Jesus, what does turpitude mean again?
Turpitude?
Turpitude. I know I've read that. Okay, so turpitude is depravity, baseness, vileness. So it's like vile. How therefore is it possible that a soul which is detained by so many evils can ever become sufficient to an energy of this kind? So yeah, how does the soul become corrupted is what he's asking, I'm guessing. It is indeed by no means reasonable to suppose that she can. Interestingly, he defines the soul as feminine. For if at any time we appear to be capable of effecting this, it is alone through the participating of and being illuminated by the gods, and that we enjoy the divine energy. Hence the soul does not participate of divine works, so far as she possesses her own proper virtue and wisdom. Though if works of this kind pertain to the soul, every soul would perform them, or that soul alone which is possessed of its proper perfection. That's interesting. So soul is basically on the lower hierarchy of spirit, which doesn't always partake in the higher divine spirit. And he's saying that if it was, then all souls would be doing it. I'm getting lost in this book, dude.
Charlotte, or Bruno says the soul is Arjun, Charlotte. The spirit is Krishna, our father. And I think Arjun on the battlefield is you or me, isn't it? The initiate.
Yeah, it's a good analogy, though. I don't think that's a bad analogy at all.
No, I think I don't think us in the human form though is soul though.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Thoth's comment.
I know.
Corrupted by TV evangelists. Certainly true.
Some would say I am rotting my soul by participating in this video chat. Rot away, bro. Rot away. You rotten son of a bitch. Gives me a lot more compassion if I'm aware that someone feels highly traumatized, and in each now hearts get pumped energy. Yes, I mean, as an empath, I'm sure you pretty much, a lot of people that are empathic, they feel everybody's pain.
Well, this is the thing. Empaths, this you can't like be. I don't know. It's weird. Like, so I have no. I've lost my empathy to the people taking the COVID propaganda hook, line, and sinker. It really, like, I was at a dinner at lunch today at work, and my boss is going, "Oh, we'll help you get the vaccine. Everyone should get vaccinated." Blah 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 blah. And my manager was like, "I'm not fucking getting vaccinated. You can get fucked, you
Yeah, I'm
know."
not
But I've
vaccinated.
lost my empathy. Like when I see people like panicking, like, "Oh, get your mask on," blah blah. I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, it's a lie. Come on now, like." But
Well, I'm not going to go out and say it's a lie, but I'm just
no,
going to
I'm not saying
the
COVID doesn't
vaccines are
exist,
just
dude.
not just
Well,
enough.
zeitgeist alarm is blinking again. Let's just not talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, dude. If you want to talk about it, we can, but
No, I'd rather not talk about it. But
good. Let's not
how
do
do
this.
psychopaths sleep at night? They don't drink coffee after 7.
I guess they sleep. Well, that's what a lack of emotional empathy is, you know.
Thoughts. Here's a good way to look forward to what we have coming. You will spend your life suffering, fighting, and surviving, and eventually you will die, probably in a horrible pain. That's awesome. It isn't that a miracle? Everything you love will also die. Yeah, that's true in the physical sense, but
So just a bit of background. Sorry, this
that's kind of
book.
a narcissistic way of looking at life, isn't it? Is it not, Thos? Sexed up flu season, Charlie calls it. Go ahead, Jack.
So this book, the Neoplatonist Porphyry writes a letter to Iamblichus, who's called Abamon the Preceptor, and he writes a letter asking him loads of questions. And the rest of the book is his answer to the letter, destroying his logic. Like, yeah, I mean, I could just pick Virtue, like, there's so many like quotes of wisdom in this book. It's not even funny. I'm gonna put it down now, unless people want more Iamblichus. But I don't, just buy the book, read it.
What is the definition of nihilistic?
You don't give a fuck. Deliberately don't give a fuck.
Okay, yeah, that is Thoth. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you a narcissist.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
like,
don't give a
I
fuck.
don't care.
Yeah.
But
I think you give a
like,
shit.
so nihilism is also coupled with like grandiosity and self-entitlement, like, you know, that kind of thing.
My bad. I didn't mean to call you a narcissist because yeah, that nihilistic definition fits you perfectly. But yeah, so in short, I think okay. So when in the concept of the Ka and the Ba of the Egyptians,
Mm-hmm.
what is your take on that, Jack?
I always get them confused. So one's spirit and the other's body, isn't it?
Yes,
There's
Ka is
Merkar and Bar.
Ka, huh?
There's Merkar and Bar, like mind, body,
Oh
and
wow, I
spirit.
never even thought of that. See, I see Kabbalah as Ka, Ba, and Allah,
There's
and
the
you
Mer as well. That's why you
Mer.
have the New Ages. They were like, oh, the Merkaba.
Oh
Like,
wow, I never even thought of that, dude.
these New Age crystals got my Merkaba active. My chakras are aligned.
Just say, dude.
That's what they sound like, dude.
Nothing matters, nothing lasts, is what nihilistic means.
Yeah,
Narcissist,
well, you go, well, I'm going to die anyway. So what's the point in trying?
right?
So it's
All
like,
one has to do though is look at the thread that flows through all ancient civilizations and everything left to us. I mean, in all the iconography and all of the stuff that is there for us plain to see today, even in the Vatican, in their courtyard, and even Washington. I mean, everywhere. It's everywhere. I don't see how we can just deny all of that. I don't see how you.
well, that's what he said about souls, because like that's why there's the differentiation in the hierarchy of spirit, because all souls would be, even though they do all move to divine,
Oh, okay. I get what you mean. Yeah.
they'd be some people go through life with absolutely
Pearls
no
before
connection
swine
to the
analogy,
divine.
right?
Huh?
The pearls before swine analogy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some people just don't care about it. And maybe they don't need to care. Maybe it's not their path. Maybe they need to live a life of atheistic, secular, I love Richard Dawkins science. Maybe that's what they
right.
need. I
Yeah,
don't know.
where
Maybe
to
they were an evangelical in a past life. So they get
Right.
sent down here like you're gonna be an atheist and you're gonna study logic. You're gonna be a logician. But then again, I always hear atheists, they go on about logic, but like spirit is like pure logic as well. I think didn't Kenny Wheeler say it's hyperlogical, like
Yeah.
mysticism and stuff. Sorry to quote
No, Ken
Kenny
Wheeler's
Wheeler.
got some good points, man. He's a little full of himself, and he just straight out lied to me.
Yeah. See,
Mocked.
so Delaney says he's a humble ex-narcissist. That's not possible. How can you be an ex-narcissist? Like, I don't understand. Like, you there's no cure
Who,
for
Delaney
narcissism.
Pearl Jones? She's a woman,
I'd
and
say Delaney Jones wasn't a narcissist. He probably had narcissistic traits and became more empathetic.
she's awesome though. She's a little brash, but who isn't? If this is a test, then the teacher is an idiot. That's why I love Thoth, man. That's why I
Yeah,
love Miles, because
he creates a great dichotomy, didn't he?
yes, he does. He is the anti. You could call him the anti-soul.
He's the anti-Toth.
Yeah, and Thoth in itself. So, what does Thoth Aman mean? We know what Thoth is. Thoth is our collective, our consciousness. So, what is Aman?
Oh, this
What
is
does
good.
Aman mean, Thoth? What does
Aman,
it mean?
art is like hidden, isn't it?
Life is a school, and reincarnation is just as stupid as illogical as zombie Jesus, in my opinion. Why did you pick the name Thoth Aman then?
It's part of the dichotomy, isn't it? The false dichotomy.
Moon, yeah. Is it the same as a moon? Is that the Greek or Egyptian god Amun? Is Aman, right? Don't blame the teachers; it's the exam board. And Thoth is equated to the moon too, right? A moon to the moon. It's a character from A Phoenix on the Sword, Robert E. Howard.
So here's something interesting. He talks about only two genres of gods. So you basically have the mundane and the super mundane. And then he says the liberation of souls will be effected through the super mundane gods, as more accurately discussed in another treatise. But he basically is putting it in a dichotomy where you have like the gods of illumination and then the unilluminated souls. So he uses this analogy as well. Yeah, very interesting. And according to Homer, the gods are flexible. That's a quote from Homer. The gods are flexible. What does that mean, Thoth? The gods are flexible.
Light is infinite, and light is finite, separate only by darkness and men. Seek ye to rend the veil of the darkness. Bring thou together the light into one. That's a quote from the Seven Lords. Amarth. The monarchy worships it. What do you mean? In ages past were they conquered by the masters, driven below to the place whence they came. But some there were who remained hidden in spaces and plains unknown to man. Lived they in Atlantis as shadows, but as times they appeared among men. Aye, when the blood was offered, forth came they to dwell among men. And I believe that, I think that means, the shadows within us, the shadow, our shadow self, or, the id, the identification we make with our, we want to own. Light can be bent, and are light beings. Gotta go. So many good things to all. Good things to you, brother. He was a high priest of that wizard with a magic ring to summon a demon to attack his enemies, like ballerinas.
Ballerinas.
What's up, Free Press? Have a good one, Sad Son. Thanks for joining. Yeah, 69 minutes ago we started. Stygia was pre-Egyptian and a Hyperborea in the Conan mythos. Hyperborea is meaning the inside or the inner earth, right? Is that what Hyperborea means?
Hyperboloid.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
like
inside.
it's like a geometric shape, isn't it? A hyperboloid, like
Type shape.
the
Yeah.
interior of an hourglass would be
No,
like.
the hourglass is the interior of a toroid. Yeah.
Are we on Kenny Wheeler talk again?
No, he was just talking Stygia or Stygia, or I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, and those rings. Hey, what's up? Hi, Mary. How are you, sweetheart? How are you? I'm glad you're here. Mary was on the show with Yvonne once. Wonderful person, wonderful soul. So, Mary, what is the soul in your opinion? Is it the same as God? Is it the same for every creature? Madame Blavatsky, prehistorical and pre-flood. Doug Stacks in the house. What's up, brother? Doug's in the house. Doug's in the building. Doug's in the building. Hey, hey. Doug's in the building.
So, what is the soul? Hey.
Yeah, I'm asking Mary if she.
Oh.
H.P. Lovecraft uses some of that stuff. A piece of God is what Tammy says it is. Some of that stuff in his works also. Yeah. The man supports himself only on that which resists, so earth must resist man, else he existeth not.
So 85.
Maybe we'll just knowledge is regarded by the fool as ignorance, as the things that are profitable are to him hurtful. He liveth in death, it is therefore his food.
Interesting. I'm gonna look, see if I can
Are
find it.
you still engulfed in that book?
No, I've got a different book.
What book you got now?
This is Mysticism by Evelyn Underhill. It's an excellent book. I'm still reading it, but I'm seeing if she can shed light. Yeah,
So, Doug, what do you think the soul is? What is your opinion on that? I think soul is the same as spirit.
Therefore, the soul is more hidden. The more it is raised up above all created things. Oh, that's the end of the sentence where she's explaining what the soul is.
Mary says, I heard you, Steve, but I have no sure answer. I just know it is a holding place.
Oh, man.
Place where we meet God, right?
Okay. The soul is like a man who sees an object for the first time, the like of which he has never seen before. He perceives it and likes it, yet he cannot say what it is, nor give it a name. Do what he will, though it be even an object cognizable by the senses. How much less, then, can that be described which does not enter in by the senses? Inexpressible in its nature, and as we have said, it is rightly called secret, and yet for another reason it is also so called, for this mystical wisdom has the property of hiding the soul within itself. So the soul can, it's like it's a hidden thing. For besides its ordinary operation, it sometimes happens that this wisdom absorbs the soul and plunges it into a secret abyss where it sees itself distinctly as far away and separated from all created things, and looks upon itself as one that is placed in a profound and vast solitude where no creature can come, and which seems an immense wilderness without limits. And this solitude is more delicious, sweet, and lovely the more it is deep, vast, and empty. There the soul is even more hidden and is raised up above all created things. This abyss of wisdom lifts up and enlarges the soul and gives it drink to the very sources of the science of love. So she's talking about ascension to the abyss there, quite clearly. Like, did you hear that, Steve?
Yes, I heard that. I'm listening.
Yeah, I mean, that's like something Phil would say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
But yeah,
That, people tend to think spirit and energy are one and the same. I don't agree with that. Spirit is the
oh
still.
no. I don't. Although I'd say, like,
We are
what gets me is like, okay, we've got different forms of energy, but like electrical energy, like seeing a spark of electrical energy or like lightning, like that seems like it could be infused. That's a form of energy that could be infused with some kind of divinity. I don't know. I'm just like theorizing. I don't know. But
spirit, I think, is the eye of the storm, the center of the stillness, the blissful state of nothingness, of just still. That's where I think the soul is it comes from, in my opinion.
Well, that would be like the highest and ultimate degree of spirit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it comes down. There's a hierarchy of like division. You could say division
with the angels and whatnot. Yeah, maybe. But I think anything that's energy is always moving, vibrating, oscillating, decaying, entropy.
Yeah, so it's the opposing force, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you can say all matter is energy vibrating at a specific resonance or harmonic or frequency, right? So yeah, it's got to be the opposite. That's Shiva and Shakti, right?
Yep.
And again, because it's a contrary there's contrary between them, I don't know. It's really, who knows, man.
Yes, Dean says Code thinks that the soul is stillness, and yeah, I agree with that. Totally. Yes. What's up, Shoots for Power? Haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad you're here. A reason to do it, that is the spirit, the movement from the thought to the doing. Look at that. That came from Thoth. Can you believe it? We have only a fraction of awakened consciousness, which is the seed of the soul, the Buddha nature. It's called Tatha Garbha in Buddhism, but it can grow to experience a direct connection with God.
Well, here's interesting, like from what we read earlier, some of the questions in the chat. So who said someone thinks that soul is stillness? I just read it. Yeah. So soul is stillness. Oh, you said it. It was you. So it's like a degree of stillness,
Yeah.
I guess so. Is it true that there can be varying degrees of nothingness and varying degrees of stillness? Because think about it.
I don't know about that, because I think from nothing everything is. But
no. Let me trying to corroborate that claim with another thing. So, like, say if the soul is not within us, right? We're consisted of these, this flesh and bone, and that is like made of atoms, right? If we take this like atomic model, right?
Entropy,
and each of those individual atoms has a fulcrum of stillness, like the Anu, a miniature black hole about which there's vibration of each particle or molecule. So maybe like it is within us, but it's at such a like low degree, like it's undetectable by any scientific instrument. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's why, God is unprovable, in essence, you know,
No, God's
only to,
totally provable. You just
only
gotta
to
have
yourself.
you just gotta have the right dose of acid and be in the right mindset.
Right. Or, he's not, or it's not, or God's ineffable for a reason. It's, he's above, is everything and whatever. But, that's neither here nor there. But
Like, look, man.
listen what Tha says. She says, maybe the soul psyche is in stillness because you have to still the mind in order to focus on something. An unfocused mind is rather chaotic. Yes.
You see, like the thing with like the provability of God. Like,
Mhm.
who are you supposed to prove it to? Fucking
Yourself.
Richard Dawkins. You know,
Yeah,
he's a
yourself.
fucking psycho anyway. Like, I don't care what, this is the power of, it's not really anyone, I just, you know, to him, this whole chat would be like a comedy show. I don't
Right.
know. I
Yeah,
just,
a bunch of
I really, 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 my narcissistic traits come to the fore when I think about Richard Dawkins. He just pisses me off, dude. I don't know why. But it's quite funny as well. His arguments are like very puerile and like mediocre. I'm trying to
Jim
get
Morrison mean when he said, "Let me sleep all night in your soul kitchen."
Funny enough, there's an interview of Roger Daltrey talking about Jim Morrison, and he's like, "Yeah, I had a couple of bottles of whiskey with him, and I paid for the round, and then the bloody bastard went and died 2 months later, and he never paid for his round." I was like, God, that's what evil thing to say.
Right. Yeah, the code says zero soul, one spirit. Um, I think the zero and the one are the same, though. I think the soul is the spirit, but you know, I think we tend to overcomplicate things because we have our shadow, and our shadow wants to own things. Our shadow wants to differentiate things and claim it. And I think that's what the issue is with this.
That's a very appropriate word to claim it.
Yeah,
That makes me laugh.
pretty
It's
much what I
like,
think we
stick a
want.
flag in it. Like, what was the first thing the Americans did when they got to the moon? Stick
Right.
a flag in it. Mine.
Right. We claimed it, right? Yeah. And that's what we're doing with everything in this
This
world.
is
And
property of the United States of America.
yeah, right. And it sounds a bit utopish or utopia like to think that,
Uh,
it's
is
everything
it
is the
is it
one.
me? I mean, there's probably a lot of people from the States in the chat, but it's like America just like not the greatest country in the world. Like there's this belief perpetuated that it is, but it seems kind of nonsensical to me. I mean, it's all right, but
You're talking United States.
yeah, it's like, God bless America, the greatest nation, the God, blah blah blah.
Well, I'm
It's
not
just
going to
very
complain
like
about where I live because I'm not going to claim it's the best because I don't know anything else.
you've never left the States.
No,
You've
never.
never seen the shores of
Well, I
Tripoli.
went up. I went up into
Or
Canada, and Canada wasn't bad, but I mean, I only went up there fishing for a week, so it's not. I've never
yeah.
been anywhere else. Yeah, but hey, guys, is anything else you need to add there, Jack? Is there anything else that?
No, I think I'm exhausted mentally and physically from being at work all day. So yeah, I mean, I don't know about whether you can land on the moon or why the craters are hexagonal, and I really can't think about that now. That kind of stuff.
Well, it's like
Uh,
the hexagon on Saturn, right? On the North Pole of Saturn. Is that what it is? A hexagon?
I don't know what it is, man. I don't know how it is. I don't know.
What's up, Robert? You made it just in time to say goodbye, brother. We're wrapping things up. Jackie here is getting tired. He's getting heavy eyed, and
Yeah, I got to make ends meet tomorrow.
yeah, he's got to go to worky.
I've got to defile my soul by going to work.
Hey, man must labor and
Well, that's
toil.
what it said in the book about how doing things for the purpose of doing them is what did he say? Like a turpitude or something like that. It's like ghastly. It's not the proper behavior of the soul. But yet here we are in this Kali Yuga where we, it's part of the fall from grace, isn't it? Really, if you want to like kind of
You
simplify
still
that
think we're in
idea.
Cali? You don't think we're in the next one? That what is it?
No, fuck no. We're still in Kali Yuga,
You
good and
think we're in
proper.
Kali Yuga?
I mean, like, if it's not Kali Yuga, why is there all this COVID bullshit? I mean, come on. Like, how can you claim it's not Kali Yuga with COVID shit? Like, I don't want to get into that, but I'm just saying, there's too much influence of narcissistic psychopaths in positions of authority still in the world. Therefore, it is still Kali Yuga. And anyone who says it's
Well,
not Kali Yuga, I'm going to stick a flag and claim that intellectual property of my ego that it's still Kali Yuga. No, I'm not taking the piss. I'm not taking the piss, man. I'm being serious. I was being dead serious, dude. I was being really serious. Like, I wasn't taking the piss. I was using your example to describe my own evil.
I agree with Menza. Menza says we are. What is it? What is the next age called? DARPA. DARPA. What is it called?
It's all Kali Yuga.
No,
That's it's all Kali Yuga. That's the
Kali
descent
Yuga is
of
this
Kali
big
Yuga.
compared to all the other ages, dude.
It's
Think
forever
about
Kali
this.
Yuga,
Think
dude.
about this. Now, remember when I said that we were located on the outer edge of the solar system or the Milky Way?
Mhm.
Remember? Everybody remembers us out there. Now, where are we? In a physical sense, we are 26,000 years closer, 26,000 light years closer to the center of our Milky Way.
Ooh.
So what does that mean? We're closer to the central sun, right?
Right.
And that's what the yugas are based upon, right?
I didn't know if there was like a astronomical component to Kali Yuga.
Well, as above, so below, right? I mean, there's always a correlation, or.
I don't know. I'm just going to keep forever incarnating in Kali Yuga. I don't care. I give up.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck
You're
it.
realistic,
I'm
Mark.
just going to be a nihilist about it and be like, whatever.
I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, we're gonna have to look up that stuff.
What, one day? I mean, there's all these like old school 70s Indian movies about Kali Yuga with the crazy music and the Bollywood stuff. They're so cool. And they have subtitles. And the subtitles have very vivid vocabulary as well. Like, yeah, I'd recommend that. I think it's King Parahasha. Parahasha. He gets confronted by Kali Yuga and tries to banish him, and he's like, nah. But
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. I think the whole saying that we're transitioning out of Kali Yuga, it could be true, but it's kind of like a little take on the new age of Aquarius thing. I mean, I think it could well be the age of Aquarius, definitely. I don't doubt that. But the idea that Aquarius is somehow going to be better than Pisces, I don't know. Maybe it will be. Maybe it will be.
Talk we're gonna do is destiny real, or do we write our own destiny, and how that works? Because I think that's going to be the next series or the next discussion we got to have.
Well, you just really is destiny real, and do we write our own destiny? That's really the polarity
Either
between
one. Which one is it?
Well, this is what I'm going to say. That's really the polarity between consciousness and unconsciousness, because we consciously move towards our destination, but also unconsciously do it as well. you know, like fate, no
Feedback loop.
fate.
It intercedes every now and then, or writes the script as we go.
I don't know, something will happen in our life that we didn't intend that can like alter our path like massively. I don't know. I've just given up being in control of my life, Steve. I'm not in control of my life, and I accept that. And it seems to make it less stressful.
Yeah, and Thoth is right about there's always the end. The end is always near. The end is always near. And I think that comes from our egoistic carnal mindset of we're gonna die. I think that's
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
that's where that's based in.
well, this is the thing. Like, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? An apocalyptic. The apocalypse is almost an archetype in itself.
Mm-hmm.
If you take the totality of the zodiac and the sun, you really get the archetype of the apocalypse. It's like, but the apocalypse is also the genesis at the same time.
What are the apostles? You know, apocalypse, apostles. You know, the zodiac, the sun going through the zodiac. You know, I mean, it's our psyche going through them archetypes, like you're just saying right there.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely, yeah.
And that's what the sun, our soul, or essentially in the physical sense, the sun represents our psyche going through the day, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I got sidetracked by a Thoth's comment saying the spice must flow forever. Is he talking about like synthetic weed spice? Sorry.
Well, I hope everything's going
That's
good.
such a terrible. Oh God, what a terrible thought! Like spice is eternal, eternally extant. That shit's evil. See, that's a bastardization of nature. Spice.
Spice, why?
Well, synthetic marijuana. Do you know how badly it fucks people up?
Oh yeah, I've heard that shit really.
People become like homeless on that shit, man, and they
Yeah,
have like
it
they
fucks
can't
with
just
your
stop cold
brain.
turkey. They could die. It's like a bastardization of nature, as you know, trying to make that animate which is inanimate. Basically, it's a true abomination, you know. Hey man, we should do a if you're up for it, Steve, like next week or something or whenever, we should do a chat where we look at quotes of transhumanists and just like take down their erroneous philosophy. Like I think that might be quite fun if you're up for it, because
Yeah.
I've read some of their stuff. It is so bad. They're so like out of touch.
Oh, how AI is going to take over.
Yeah, and how it's like must be this way, and it's inexorable, and there's no God. What if what is it, Satva Yug? What the next Yug is the age of like
Yeah,
the
set for
ball.
you or Shuni Murta.
So like the next fucking demon will come like a robot. I am Satva Yug and exterminate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Anyway, Steve, I think I'm going to get going. I need to go and get some food as well. I'm hungry.
Yeah, brother.
And
Much love to you, man. I'm glad you could have this talk with us. And
yeah, I enjoyed it. It's been good fun. I think we quoted, there were some interesting quotes. I'm just going to remind everyone, this was the book we were reading through on this chat, Iamblichus and the Mysteries of the Egyptians, Chaldeans, and Assyrians. And before I leave, he'll say that the quote on the back, which is like the what does he say? The sacerdotal and theurgic gift of felicity is called indeed the gate of the demiurgus of holes, or the seat or palace of the good. In the first place, likewise, it possesses a power of purifying the soul, much more perfect than the power which purifies the body. Afterwards, it causes a coaptation of the reasoning power to the participation and vision of the good, and a liberation of everything of a contrary nature, and in the last produces union with the gods, who are the givers of everything good. That's Iamblichus. That's why you should read him. All right, man. I'm gonna get going. Thanks everyone in the chat. Really enjoyed it.
Man.
All right. No, love, peace, and free range chickens.
Chicken and screw the grease, because we don't want to kill
Yeah, just love, peace, and happy chickens.
I want some prefab chicken nuggets instead.
All right, man. Take care, yeah. All right, bye.
Later on. So everybody, I just want to thank you for joining us. Shoots for Power. Glad you could be here. Robert V. Glad you showed up. I used to get synthetic weed, bath salts, salvia, and some nitrous at a porn store and put on some gaga and saw demons for days. Nice. Humans are chaos. They are unpredictable. The whole idea is crackpot idiocy. But they keep trying. Yes, we do. For if we didn't keep trying, what would be the point, right? And I just want to reiterate and just pound home the issue here that I am not trying to steer anybody in their way of thinking. I'm not trying to bring you to any sort of conclusion. I'm not telling you any sort of answer. I am not the truth you seek. For everything is for us to find on an individual basis. I believe the one thing I will say I believe, because usually I don't believe anything because there's a lie in the middle of the word, but I believe that there is one truth, and that one truth is ineffable. It involves us all, and it's good, and it's love. That's four things in the one, but whatever. Not splitting hairs here. I am not the truth. I am not here to bring you to the truth. I am here to inspire you or to help you find the truth. I dropped the truth from my slightly science sleuth for the truth because I believe I found the truth. I'm trying to incorporate that truth in my life. I'm trying to find a way to incorporate that truth and to become one with that truth. Now, that truth for me may not be the truth for you. That is for you to decide. Now, with that being said, I love you all and thank you. Thank you, Free Press 666. It is the Truman Show. This is for sure. Charlie Silverman, Miles, as usual. I love you, brother. Michelle Canyon Free, I love you. Joyce, are you serious? David Castle, Code, Dean, I'm glad you're here. Black Illuminati, Menza, Crystal Clear, making sure I'm not missing anybody. Mary Wins, Frater Deos, Muse, Buse, and Confused, Penny Pocket, and look up that book, Iamblichus or whatever. Iamblichus, because I'm gonna. But there's also a book here that you guys should all check out. Check this out. It's on my drive, so no worries. It's a very pertinent book to the subject. And, maybe someday we'll all, oh, what's up? Who's here? Blue Star. What's up, Mike? You're here. Thank you for stopping by, Mike. I'm glad you could stop by. Dean says, see on the flat side. Menza says, many near extinction events in the past. Yes, there have been. I think that's the indifferent part of our existence. That's what world is about. Shoots for Power, I'm glad you could join us. Genevieve, I'm glad you were here. Bruno, thank you for coming. Just trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. Jenny, I got your number. I'm glad you could join us. And Charlie Silverman, anybody else? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Iamblichus on the mysteries, yes. Yes, you guys are all beautiful souls. Much love, peace, and chicken grease, guys. If I would have had